What's going on there, YouTube? Charles Botenston here, New York City. There's the Times Square ball right there, 2017. Who's excited for it? Yeah! All right, so today we're going to be talking about a topic that I didn't really like for 26 years of my life, and that's accountability. That's taking accountability, not accountability on others, because those are always fun. I told you to be here at this time, and you weren't. You were late. Okay, how about you take accountability on yourself? Take accountability on your body, your money, your relationships. See, there's a sliding scale of accountability. And I was not in the victim, which is the complete end, which is the world is out to get you. In other words, because of where you were born, because of your age, because of your demographic, because of who raised you, because of your intelligence, because of something else, it completely has shaped your life. I wasn't in that. I was more in the, this is how it is, and I just completely accept it. That's not life. Life is creating. It was funny too, in the shower today after I had a great workout session, it was a great gym class actually, and I was in the shower today and I was reading the book by Jerry Weintraub called You'll Know I'm Dead When I Stop Talking, or When I Stop Talking You'll Know I'm Dead. Whichever one it is, it's one of those two. And then there, he talks about Dean Martin. My mom loved Dean Martin. Dean Martin was part of the Rat Pack. He was the stud. He was actually, people liked him more than Frank Sinatra, even though Frank Sinatra's more popular, more well-known. And the biggest thing is, the reason that people like Dean Martin better is because he had an eye and a way about him. And it was funny because literally Jerry Weintraub said, the quote is amazing. He said that Dino walked around like it was, that life was just like a joke. He like walked around like, he's like, I can't believe this is real kind of feeling. Imagine that. You walk around with just, I just did a video on curiosity. So curiosity, and really the biggest thing with curiosity is you walk around with, you're just like in awe. And that's kind of what Dino was doing. And I know that has nothing to do with accountability, but when you start questioning things, you start questioning other people, but then you have to start questioning yourself. So I was more in the mind frame growing up of, you know, like you already know, I had an 81 average in high school. I had a 2.9 GPA in college. You know, I wasn't a smart guy because I just wasn't test taking well. And now, you know, I was like, I'm not going to do well because I wasn't taking accountability for my actions. I wasn't taking accountability. I just assumed this is how it is, that I am not supposed to succeed in school. I'm not supposed to succeed in life. I'm just supposed to have an average body, average relationship, average life. That's, you know, that's literally the middle of the spectrum. I wasn't a victim. I wasn't saying like, poor me, but I also wasn't taking accountability for the reason I'm getting an 82 average. The reason I have a 2.9 GPA average in college is because I wasn't studying. The reason you're not getting the girls or the relationship that you deserve or that you want is because I wasn't taking accountability of, why don't you go talk to them? Why don't you find out what someone that you want to be, how they exercise, how they eat, how they make their money? I wasn't taking any accountability. On the extreme other end, I'll talk about two people, Jack Canfield, who wrote the Success Principles, unbelievable book, highly recommend. Success Principles, you have to read it. It's like the Bible to self-development. And the other one is Jacko by, that's his name actually, and the name of the book is Extreme Ownership. And Jacko is a Navy SEAL, or was, I should say, was a Navy SEAL commander, which means that he actually led Navy SEALs, so that's, you know, a little higher up in the ranks. And Jack Canfield, he also wrote the Chicken Soup for the Soul, and they literally say everything that happens to you, you have to take full responsibility for. If a meteor hits that right now and I die, it's not just like bad luck. They don't believe in bad luck. They believe that I take ownership because I chose to sit here. I chose to sit in the seat. I chose to wake up at a certain time, to go to the gym at a certain time, to get food at a certain time, to walk, and to sit in this chair. And you take complete ownership. I did this to myself. Everything. I'm in it. So I drive and someone goes through a red light and T-bones me, and I'm in a serious accident, they say I decided to go to where I was going at the speed and the car in the intersection and the route and everything. I chose that. So you have one end of the spectrum, which is complete victimhood, which is, I don't even want to talk about that. You have middle of the road, which is, all right, this is how it is. I'm just supposed to have an average life, which is probably 80, I would say 80% are just right in the middle. Then you have 10% which are victimhood, and then you have 10% that take complete, full, utter responsibility and accountability for everything. Their company going bad, their platoon going bad, their body, their relationships, everything that happens for or to them. They take full responsibility. So really, like I said in every single video, is you have to observe life. Like, what do you want? This is the easiest way to actually take full accountability. Wherever you are on the spectrum, it's not good or bad. It's just you have to with anything, it's like you have to know where you are to know what you have to do to get to where you want to go. Brilliant. You have to know where you are. Where am I with my body, with my relationships, with my mind, with my money, with my company? Where do I want to go? Okay, how do I get there? What are the steps I need to do to get there? That's the only way to actually do it. Outside of that, accountability is really observing and not subjectively being in life. Observing the relationships, the conversations. What are you doing? What are you eating? Who are you talking to? What's the length of the conversation? I was talking to one of my agents yesterday, one of the guys that works for me, and I said, listen, your time is more than money. It's your time is more valuable than valuable. Like if valuable, like it's like what you decide to do, the time you decide to go to bed, wake up, what you decide between those two time frames of waking up and going to bed, you decide. Charles, well, I have to go to school. All right, cool. Well, while you're at school, what I was doing was daydreaming. I wasn't daydreaming about anything important, but I got through school. When I was outside of school, I was entrepreneurial. Like this is one thing I've actually never talked about, is that I was very good at online poker. I had an online business that I bought in high school and I sold in college, and it wasn't overly successful. I bought it for like $300 and I sold it for a few $1,000s, but to me that was like major money. And I was like, wow, I don't even know what to say, but this is what I want to do again. It's like, I just knew that listening to someone to tell me what to do was not me. But the thing is, to do that, you have to take accountability for what's going on. You want to be an entrepreneur? You have to take accountability for the amount of money you have, the amount of action you're taking, the amount of people you talk to, the amount of business you ask for. You want to take a team to the championship. You want to become the MVP. You want to have a sick body. You want to have an amazing life. You have to start taking accountability. If you're not, you will never. Because you always say that it's outside of my control. Oh, I can't have the relationships because I don't have the money. It's because I used to say, because of where I grew up, because of my fashion sense, because of my wealth and everything else, is the reason when I was 22, 23, that I had a shitty life. That's what I thought. That's what I truly, truly thought. That's it. That this is who I am. This is who I'm going to be. And then I went to Tony Robbins and he said, take full accountability. It's one of those things that it took 3 years. 3 years. Imagine 3 years from now, you're like, oh, that's what he meant by accountability. And then you take full accountability of, I need to go out and get my ass in the gym. I need to start reading up on health and wealth and love and happiness. You have to read up on it. Like, it's not just gonna come to you. You're not just gonna get motivated. You're not just gonna listen to something and be like, that's it. It's a lifestyle. And that's literally why I named the down below, the website, It's a Lifestyle. It's a life.style. It really is. It's a lifestyle. It's, and I own a real estate company. It's not like you go to work in one of these buildings, one of these high rises. Look at the size of that building. It's not like you go to that building. Look all around me. Huge buildings. Another building right there, all these buildings all around me. People just go to work and they're being told what to do. And they're probably looking at me like, he's on his phone, he's talking to it, I don't know what he's talking about, and they have their judgment. But the thing is, they're in that 80%. So what are your homework steps? Your homework step is, number one, to observe the conversations you're in. When you start observing the people you're hanging out with, the food you're eating, and I'll give you an example, because examples are the best way. I remember 2.5, 3 years ago when I first started taking accountability, and I started saying, okay, and I got asked to, I'm a sport, or, was a sports fan. I still am, but I used to be religious, like, whoa, like every game. I read up on it, and I used to get involved, and then I'm like, there's gonna be another season, then another season, then another season, it's never gonna end. And I'm just giving them money instead of me making money, so that's why I don't follow sports as much. I enjoy it, but doesn't give me the jolly that it used to. But I remember this, I got invited to see, I don't know, whatever, sports game, but not in person. It was like a bar. And he goes, okay, there's a bunch of us meeting there. And I remember like making up an excuse, like, oh, I'm sorry, I got to work late or whatever. But the reason I made up an excuse was because I said, this is exactly what's going to happen. I'm going to go there. I'm going to watch the game. I'm going to drink beer, lots of it, probably pitchers of it. I'm going to have wings and maybe some sliders and fries, just greasy bar food. And then I'm going to wake up the next day and I'm going to feel like shit. I'm also going to spend money. I'm going to be hungover the next day. I'm going to just be sloggy and groggy. And then I made the excuse up of I had to work late and I didn't go. And then I woke up the next day and I felt amazing because I probably worked late and I don't remember the exact details, but I remember waking up the next day and be like, wow, I took full responsibility. I took full accountability. And I said, I knew what was going to happen. We were going to have the same conversations. So when I say observe life, that's exactly what I mean. Observe where you're going, observe the conversations you're having, and then say, do I want to repeat this again? Do I want to go on another date with this person? Do I want to go out and watch sports games and drink beer and get sloshed up? If you do, perfect. Great. That's up to you. I'm not telling you not to do that. I'm just saying, if you want to have a great body and that's what you're doing, that's the reason you don't have a great body, or you're waking up groggy and sloggy and hungover. You have to take full accountability. It's not like, well, the boys were going out and I had to go out. No, you don't. You can do whatever you want. Like the last 3 months, I've been a hermit, growing my company, building the foundation, but I know in 3 months from today, it's gonna be completely different. So half a year of my life, I was not that social. But I take full accountability that my dating life and my friendship life isn't exactly where it should be. But the thing is, I'm not complaining about it. If I was complaining and I was saying, I wish I was dating more, I wish I had a better social life. Well, it's like you're complaining about it, but you're not doing anything about it. And the reason you're not doing anything about it is because you're not taking accountability. So whatever you're complaining about, whatever you want, so that's it. I want a better business. I want a bigger business. I want to expand. I want to franchise out. I want to buy other businesses. So that's taking full accountability. You're going to have to take it. You're going to have to make a sacrifice. Elon Musk, I saw an interview yesterday. Unbelievable, by the way. Like, talking about a guy, we're literally living through genius. He's only in his 40s. And he's talking about he's like, yeah, I think within 9 years we'll be on Mars. What? Are you kidding me? Guy completely has, let alone cars on Earth. He's talking about going to Mars, and then he goes, yeah, it's going to be sustainable. In other words, we're not going to need the boost. So this is the biggest thing is, I forgot who brought it up. It might have been Mel Robbins in the book Stop Saying You're Fine. Dr. Mel Robbins. She might be a doctor. I think she's a doctor. Dr. Mel Robbins. Watch her TED Talk, which is the F word or something, which is fine, but it's an unbelievable talk. Unbelievable talk. She crushes it. And she talks about it, activation energy. So whatever you want, what do you want? You need a goal. One goal, small, tiny, abs, $100. A relationship, whatever, something small. And you have to say, okay, what am I doing right now? What do I need to do to get to that goal? And to be honest, this is as honest as I can get right now. For 9 straight months prior to the last 3, so minus 3 months, but 9 months prior to that, I lost a lot of passion towards work and everything else. I lost the passion. I was in, I've been in real estate for 7 years, and then you lose the passion. You know who also said that? Michael Phelps. He said, I lost the passion to swimming, and he gained it back, and then he crushed it. I'm assuming because that's what he does. I didn't see the Rio Olympics, but he already had 20 something medals, gold medals. And he said he lost his accountability. So what is your accountability? And find a partner, all right? Subscribe to the video. Have an awesome day. Talk to you guys soon.